we are going to talk about the fall of the House of Usher.
And what exactly are you confessing to? You mentioned Title 18, Section 371. That's defrauding the U.S. government.
All of it.
All of it.
The whole thing. You brought what? 73 charges. All of them. Everything. All yours. Right now. And I'll throw in a bonus. I'll tell you how my children died.
I know how they died, Roderick. Everybody knows.
Believe me, Mr. Dupin, when I tell you, you don't know a thing.
The new Gothic drama Netflix miniseries from Mike Flanagan, who made films like Oculus and was the showrunner on Haunting, created and directed Midnight Mass, which Simon and I both loved. I don't think you've seen it, but
no.
I must recommend it. So this uses Edgar Allan Poe's titular story as the setup, and then it proceeds to draw on other stories, all transposed to the modern day for subsequent episodes. So in the first episode, Bruce Greenwood's Roderick Usher, who is the twin of Madeline Usher, Mary McDonald, is the CEO of a corrupt pharmaceutical company, telling Carl Umley's police investigator that he is responsible for the catastrophic fall of the House of Usher, for the catastrophic demise of his family. And the investigator says, look, I know how each of these people died. What you didn't do it. And Roderick says, but you don't know anything. Sit back and listen. And then so episode 2 is called The Mask of the Red Death. His little wastrel son is setting up an elite orgy-like dance club, which is basically Eyes Wide Shut Goes to Hell. And so the original Poe story transposed to the present. Episode 3 is Murder in the Rue Morgue. Episode 4 is The Black Cat.
Are they all like set in the present day?
Yes, it's a present day setting. Yeah, I mean I've seen 3 so far, so it's a present day setting.
Okay.
So here's the thing. I loved Midnight Mass because Midnight Mass dragged me in. You start it, the narrative is so engulfing. It's about the island and there's this kind of religious thing going on. You're not sure what it is and you're quite a long way in before you discover what it is. And then it's got this real creeping sense of dread. In the case of this, because it is episodic, it is uneven because anything that is episodic is going to be uneven. Mm-hmm. So the opening, the first episode, I thought was terrific. It was great. Okay, this is an interesting way of updating the story. This is good. Well done. Fine. Then the second episode had some moments, but it also committed that anything that reminds me of Eyes Wide Shut just literally makes it's just like it's never a good thing. And masked ball dance orgies. It something very hard to get right.
Babylon.
Yeah,
Babylon.
you probably feel the same way about Babylon as I do. But then episode 3 pulls it back again. So what I think is, I think he's a great director. I mean, there is a reason why people have said so many nice things. I mean, he's been praised by Stephen King, by William Friedkin, by Quentin Tarantino. He has style, he has flair, and this is an ambitious project. It is flawed but ambitious, and as we were saying before, when we were talking about creator, flawed but ambitious is good. The unevenness, if you think of something like, Guillermo del Toro's Cabinet of Curiosities, or Tales of the Unexpected, some of the Tales of the Unexpected were great, and some of them weren't. Yeah. And everyone's got the ones they remember. So from what I've seen so far, I am sure that there will be the great episodes and not so great episodes. Right. I think he's got an awful lot of, panache and style. What I don't have is that, because essentially, because of the way it plays out, it's sort of like, and this is going to make it sound better than it is, it's like Succession written by Edgar Allan Poe. Right. Because there's the whole thing about the family, the corrupt family, and then the offspring and the collapse. So there is a lot of it in which you're going, okay, fine. So this is, so it's a bit sub Jesse Armstrong and it's a bit sub Stanley Kubrick and it's a bit, but every now and then Succession, as written by Edgar Allan Poe, kind of works, because obviously there is a lot of Fall of the House of Usher in Succession. So it's enjoyable. Okay. I don't. It's not Midnight Mass, but it is enjoyable.
So there are recurring characters from previous episodes that come back in.
Yeah. So each one is the story of how each character's fall has happened, and he is centrally blaming himself and saying, "I'm going to explain to you why it is that this curse is actually at the root of all of it. Because the whole thing about Fall of the House of Usher is the House of Usher is rotten from the inside. And it's all to do with people being... Edgar Allan Poe is all to do with people being buried alive and walled up, and but that idea of rotting. There is a really brilliant Poe adaptation by Jan Svankmajer, which is kind of part live action, part animation, but it's that idea of fetid, rotting, corrupt. So whenever we think about the collapse of an empire, Fall of the House of Usher is there in the background. Right. So I think that's probably the Succession connection. Is that Succession isn't without its Edgar Allan Poe.
Gotcha. So worth a watch, but maybe pick your favourites.
Yeah, I mean, even the ones that aren't great are still watchable. It was just, I think, after the first episode, which was really great, and the second, right. But then it pulled it back.
Thanks very much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed watching it as much as we enjoyed making it. While you're here, check out all the other videos because they're cool too, aren't they?
Yeah, and if you want to keep up to date with everything Kermode and Mayo's take, then check out our social channels.
I mean, why wouldn't you?
I mean, I would. But I have done.
Excellent.